sound of this video is not going to be perfect because I left my microphone somewhere, but I do want to talk about this topic, which is Star Trek Discovery is not canon. Yes, it is.
Multiple life signs detected.
Yes! Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. Now, all over Facebook and other places, but mainly Facebook, there's a bunch of fans who are talking about this in Star Trek Lower Decks, meaning that Star Trek Discovery's been put into a different universe to the rest of Star Trek. But the problem is, if you make this not canon, so the Klingons from Discovery, then Discovery becomes not canon. Then the scene with Spock in Unification 3 means that TNG is also not canon. It also means the episode of TNG in regards to this makes that episode of TNG not canon, at least. Not to mention the Barge of the Dead, the Enterprise E, the Miranda class, the Oberth class, all of those ships would be not within the universe. Now, Star Trek fans, and I say fans loosely, on Facebook tend to be of the we don't like woke propaganda fashion or thing, which is boundlessly annoying when you're on there and you want to talk about Star Trek Discovery and all they seem to want to talk about is the fact that there's a woman captain and she's not very good and that crying is a terrible attribute for any human being. These people are generally older men. It's the same. If you watched any video I've done on Discovery, it's always that same group of core people. Now, Star Trek Discovery ended its 5 seasons last year. It's 2025 after all. Happy New Year. And I wanted to start the year off by talking about something that is sort of annoying to me, right? So, whenever we have something new in Star Trek, it's an instant sort of gravitation to we hate it. This is happening with Doctor Who, this is happening with Star Wars, and I can see some of the points. An example being with Star Wars, I don't think the quality of all of their shows are really good, although I have liked some of the different shows. With the Marvel Universe and She-Hulk, which I really, really enjoyed, but people didn't like. The Acolyte, lots of people didn't like. Talking about these shows, I start to see a pattern, right? So there's a little bit of a pattern. Doctor Who currently with Ncuti Gatwa, and it's coming up for its 2nd series, and there's just something that bites me in the butt. I don't even know if that's a proper phrase to use. But basically, if you look at Star Wars The Acolyte, its central character is a female of color. If you look at Star Wars, the J.J. Abrams ones, the Rise of Skywalker, a female. If you look at Discovery, a black female lead. If you look at Doctor Who, a black male lead who is also gay. Oh, hold on. What aren't they? Now, where Star Trek Discovery gets its hatred, Star Trek Strange New Worlds gets its light. And if that episode of Lower Decks erases Discovery, it also erases Strange New Worlds. And the funny thing is that's not really brought up because Strange New Worlds changed the Klingons to melty face here. But there's less complaining online. And I think that is the funniest thing. Because people keep saying that police cars drive past my house way too often and it's annoying as shit. So when people are talking about these different programs and the different shows that they really, really like, it's just bitchy. They're just playing with me at this point. So when we look at a show like Skeleton Crew, where its central character, well, its main say protagonist, is the kids, but also Jude Law. And that show, I've not seen a single complaint about Skeleton Crew. So annoyingly, people on Facebook don't seem to notice this trend. People on TikTok notice it, people on Instagram notice it, people on YouTube notice it, although I do get a fair share. And if you look in the comments on some of these videos, there are some interesting thoughts. People on Facebook, and particularly sort of the older demographic, are constantly complaining about these particular shows where it deviates from the standard white dude level. Now, you may be saying, Travis, you're a white dude. What the fuck do you know? And I say this. I am a gay white dude. I say it because as someone from a community which can be used in a bad way on television and TV, or used as some sort of scapegoat for someone's homophobia, I see it. You see it everywhere. Why is Discovery bad? Oh, the acting. Oh, the production. No, Michael Burnham. She cries too much. And she da-da-da-da. And they target her. She-Hulk. Oh, it's a terrible show. It's not funny. Her acting is terrible. Not to point out that Doctor Who had its own problems with Jodie Whittaker in last series, where it's like, oh, they shouldn't have a woman doctor. Oh, she's not very good. And what frustrates me with Star Trek Discovery in particular, and this feeling or notion to erase it from the Star Trek timeline, is you can't erase Discovery from the timeline. And that's not what was meant. I actually asked Mike McMahon on Twitter. He gave me an answer which can be interpreted in two different ways, which is a bit annoying. But at the same time, you would have to remove, like if you have, there's the Barge of the Dead in that episode, there's different classes of ships, there's the Discovery Klingons. You'd have to remove all of pretty much the people's favourite Star Trek to make that work. Michael Burnham is very much in Star Trek. She represents a different style of captain. She represents the first African-American female captain. She is a great character if you watch the series in its entirety. And I don't know why these people feel the need to sort of target individuals when a show... Like, if you were turning around to me and saying, Discovery just doesn't speak to me, I don't really get the characters, I don't understand, I get that. But with Star Trek Discovery, it's, I don't like Michael Burnham, I don't like the trans agenda, I don't like the homosexual agenda, I don't like the fact that things look different. All of these things seem to come down to me as a fundamental problem with the demographic that I see, which is not all of them, but generally middle-aged men and some middle-aged women of whom don't like change. And I'm, this year I'm 40. But people older than me, and people my age, I'm not going to lie, they're hyper-fixated on these topics of which don't matter. The reason these topics are in the show now is because the show ignored those topics for decades. The reason Discovery is so controversial is because it's challenging what those people believe, and it's sort of making you think, did Discovery handle all of its topics perfectly? Probably not. But at the same time, don't mask, and this is all that they're doing, mask your racism, homophobia, sexism, transphobia, under the guise of Discovery isn't canon. Yay. Because that's a load of bullshit. I fundamentally believe, particularly with Discovery, that while Discovery started off different from a lot of Star Treks, Discovery became probably the truest Star Trek of the modern series, in that it promoted accepting everyone. It explored strange new worlds and civilizations. We got the 10C, which is a very big Gene Roddenberry concept. We got season 5's giant quest concept, and finding out that, just amazing. Just go watch season 5. And it's a big concept, very Gene Roddenberry, and Discovery homed that. Now, I don't know what your opinion is. I would love to know what your opinion is. I would love to, if you do have criticism of Discovery, I would love to talk about the actual criticisms of Discovery. I don't want to hear Michael Burnham is bad because, or the trans agenda is bad because. Stop it with the woke shit. You're getting, and I'm saying to you as a fellow middle-ager and or older, times change, so should you. Am I ripping off Doctor Who a little? A little. Times change, you need to change with them, or otherwise you get left behind. And in the spirit of Star Trek, every generation should get better and better. And I hope that if you are a Star Trek fan, that you should be open-minded and progressive, and you should be hoping for these positive views of the future. Thank you for watching. I've been Trek Trav. This is a random topic video. There is plenty more down on my channel, and I will see you soon.